In this special edition of Sport SA Daily Diary, we chat to Bennie Roux, the man who ran the Comrades Marathon in his garden. Good morning, Bennie. How are you today on this miserable day in Joburg and I presume Pretoria as well?
Well, it's actually a very nice day for me. It's not raining yet. The day that I did the Comrades in my garden, it was pouring, cats and dogs. I tell you, it didn't stop for a moment.
Comrades in your garden. Explain, yeah. Bennie, maybe you can just give us a bit of why, how.
The why, I really try to find out why I do these stupid things, but I think it's because I'm the younger brother of two. And my older brother always dared me to do silly stuff. And I mean, that just stuck to my whole life now. So if anybody dares me to do something, I'm up for a dare, always up for a challenge. And so the guys challenged me to do the Comrades after I did the marathon. And then I said, okay, I'll do it, but I need motivation.
Okay, so hold on. Let's take a step back here. So let's go to lockdown day one.
Yeah.
Just a normal day in the Roux household, I presume?
Yeah, it was pretty normal. I actually just wanted to do the Mzansi lockdown challenge, which is only 2Ks a day, which will give you a full marathon over the 21 days.
Okay.
And the guy actually is a friend of mine. He's in Uppington, Russell Nugent. And he said, you can do it earlier if you want to. And then I thought, okay, day one, let's do the full marathon.
So you did a full marathon on day one of the lockdown?
Yes. Yeah.
And your loop in your garden or around your house?
It's about 250 meters, just short of 250 meters. So 4 laps gives you a K. It takes forever, I tell you. And I think we most of us are getting shortchanged by the GPS because of all the corners and all the buildings and stuff. We don't get the accuracy that you get on the open road on your GPS.
Yeah. And you don't get the speed. I mean, I was doing a loop in my garden yesterday, and I was running at 8.5 minutes a K. I'm not you, but I'm a 5.5, 6 minutes a K runner. 8.5. It was just nuts.
But I think that is your GPS lying to you. It's not your real speed, because I think we kind of know the speed we're going, and I agree it is slower in the garden, all the corners, but it doesn't feel like 8.5. I mean, 8.5 minutes a K on the open road, you're almost walking or crawling.
Exactly.
So I think it's also the GPS lying to you.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just getting slow.
Yeah.
So, Bennie, you did a marathon on day one, and then you got a dare to do the Comrades, or was that another enticing manner in which you decided to do that?
No. I got another dare, and I was thinking about it, but then I thought, no, if I'm gonna do that, I need proper motivation. It must be for a good cause. And I didn't really search for anything. And then a lady called me to get tips. She wanted to do her own marathon in her garden, and she just asked for a few tips. And I told her about my crazy idea of Comrades. And then she offered a 50 Rand per kilometer donation to the Conamore School in Kempton. It's a school for kids with disabilities and autism. So, and there I had my motivation. And I mean, we actually, just my crowd, I managed to raise just over 70,000 Rand for the school. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
So, yeah.
But now,
and I tell
talk
you,
to us about.
Go ahead.
Talk to us about this run. I mean, that I can't even calculate in my head how many laps that must have been on your 250-meter route. But how was it?
Uh, at, at first it was okay. It didn't rain for the first, probably first half an hour, and then it started drizzling. But that drizzle soon became a proper, I don't know if you remember, but it was raining the whole day.
Yes.
The my route goes around my house and then out and back. I got a nice 100-meter panhandle to the front of the street.
Okay.
Now that 180-degree turn at the end of the panhandle, that one hurt like hell. But only like after 60 k's it started hurting. So yeah, but for the rest of the route, I actually have a lot of paving, so it's not so much. It's only about 20 meters of grass, and the grass was proper wet and proper soaked. So when my shoes was completely wet from the rain and running through the garden.
And it took you, what, just a little over 12 hours?
Yeah, and just under 12 hours.
Under 12.
The tracker kept on running, so it looked like over 12 hours, but it was actually just under 12 hours if you add the breaks, and if you take the breaks away, it was actually 10 hours 29.
And what's a normal Comrades for you?
A normal Comrades is probably under 7.5. My best Comrades is 6 hours 53. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I've done a couple Comrades, but nowhere near there. So I mean, that just shows you the difficulty of actually just running loops in your garden.
It is, yeah.
And now, Benny, you say that you rise to challenges or to dares. That's very brave, seeing we're going to be putting this out on social media, and there's events that you've done before, like the Manga or the 240 miler in the US. You might just get another dare before the end of the lockdown.
Oh, it's too late. I already got those dares, but I'm not gonna.
Not
I'm
happening.
definitely not gonna. If there's a sponsor out there sponsoring something like R1 million to a good cause, I'll do it. But if there's no sponsor, sorry.
Well, let's just wait and see. We might be able to get that up. Benny, you were in the US in October last year, doing the 240 miler. How's that? I mean, there's not too many people in the world that have run 240 miles. And I believe you came third in that race as well.
Hello.
Did you hear me there?
Sorry, there was a small delay. Yeah, you were talking about the Moab 240. Yeah,
yes,
it was actually a dream come true. Thanks to a couple of my sponsors like Key Health. They helped me, and Ultra helped me to get the entry, and it was just phenomenal. Unfortunately, I still had to travel alone because it is quite expensive traveling to the States. And but yeah, I had the race of my life. I didn't even think I would get top 10 there. There was big names and a very big, strong field. I mean, they had I think there was about 150 starters. Now compared that to our Mungo, we don't even have 20 starters. So it was, and I mean, the best of all was I managed to meet David Goggins. Now, I don't know if you know him, but he's you should go and Google him and listen to his book or read his book. He's a phenomenal oak, and he's a very nice guy, down to earth. But he's the real deal. He's a tough guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's phenomenal. And I mean, the whole of South Africa was proud of you when you did that. The most difficult thing you've done? Other than the Comrades in your garden, of course.
Yeah. Let me think. It's probably, and it didn't take that long, but it's one of the things that just broken me down. I have a friend, Hilton Dunn, in Rhodes, just outside Rhodes, and he had this challenge, Heaven and Hell. You basically just go up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain. It was, I can't remember the stats, but it was like over 4,000 elevation in something like 50 Ks. So it's yeah, I mean, you hurt yourself going up, you hurt yourself going down. It's that steep. And I think it took us just like 10 or 12 hours to complete. I can't remember the stats. I do have it still on Strava somewhere, but that was probably the toughest challenge. It's also laps. And the thing about laps is every time you get to the finish or to your home or whatever, to your home base, you want to quit because you're at the finish. And then to go out again to do another lap, that was probably my toughest challenge.
And you know what's coming as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly.
Brilliant. And Bennie, a message from you to future long distance ultra runners. If somebody had a wild idea of wanting to do this, what would your sort of little piece of advice be to that person, to a youngster, maybe like your son or someone like that?
I think the best advice is just to like myself. It took me about almost 10 years to build the body to take that beating. I think too many youngsters out there want to run, and including myself, want to run the Comrades too early. I mean, I think I was 21 years old when I did my first Comrades.
Sure.
And I still think that's a little bit too young. Sure, you can do it. Sure, you can run fast, but is it good for the long run? I don't think so. So I think my advice would just be to take it easy, focus on the shorter stuff. And when you're like 30 years or if you have a solid base of 10 or more years in marathons, then go up to the ultras and yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Bennie. It's been great chatting to you today on Sport SA Daily Diary. And we look forward to seeing your next adventure out there.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
And that was your special edition of Sports SA Daily Diary.